Long ago, the Mediterranean world witnessed three of history's most significant wars, known as the Punic Wars. These brutal struggles were fought between two powerful civilizations, the ambitious city of Rome and the wealthy maritime empire of Carthage. Both cities dreamed of controlling the entire Mediterranean, a strategic area rich in trade, resources, and power. Their rivalry would eventually determine who would become the leading force in the ancient world. At the start of the First Punic War, around 264 BC, Rome was a rising power that had just unified much of Italy, while Carthage was already an established empire based in modern-day Tunisia. Carthage was famous for its powerful navy, control of Mediterranean trade, and its wealthy trading posts spread across North Africa, Spain, and islands such as Sicily. Rome, ambitious and growing rapidly, soon set its eyes upon Sicily, a fertile and strategically vital island under Carthaginian influence. A conflict over the Sicilian city of Messina soon ignited a full-scale war between these two great civilizations. Initially, the war seemed to favor Carthage because of its naval dominance. Rome, a land-based power with a little naval experience, found itself at a significant disadvantage. However, Roman resilience and adaptability quickly came to the fore. They captured a Carthaginian ship and used it as a model to rapidly build their own fleet. Innovatively, they created a device called the corvus, a bridge that allowed Roman soldiers to board enemy ships and fight hand-to-hand, neutralizing Carthaginian naval superiority. Over 23 exhausting years, the two powers battled fiercely, both at sea and across Sicily, with heavy losses on both sides. Ultimately, the Romans emerged victorious in 241 BC, defeating Carthage at the Battle of the Aegates Islands. Carthage, exhausted and financially drained, agreed to a humiliating peace treaty. Sicily became Rome's first province, and Carthage was forced to pay a heavy war indemnity to Rome. Yet this peace was short-lived. Carthage, though wounded, was not yet defeated. They rebuilt their strength under the leadership of the great military commander Hamilcar Barca, and later his remarkable son, Hannibal. Hannibal swore a sacred oath of eternal hatred against Rome as a boy, and grew up determined to avenge Carthage's humiliation. Thus, the seeds for a second, even more devastating conflict were sown, leading directly to the outbreak of the Second Punic War in 218 BC. The Second Punic War began dramatically. Hannibal famously took his army from Spain and crossed the formidable Alps, a feat considered nearly impossible at the time. This daring march cost him many soldiers and war elephants, yet Hannibal succeeded in reaching Italy. His bold strategy caught Rome completely by surprise, leading to a series of catastrophic defeats for the Romans. At the Battle of Trebia in 218 BC, Hannibal expertly ambushed Roman forces, delivering severe losses. The following year, at Lake Trasimene, he repeated his cunning strategy, annihilating an entire Roman army in another devastating ambush. But Hannibal's greatest triumph occurred at the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC, one of history's most infamous battles. Using superior strategy and brilliant tactics, Hannibal surrounded and annihilated a much larger Roman force, killing tens of thousands of soldiers. The defeat shook Rome to its core, and many of its allies considered abandoning the city. Despite these catastrophic defeats, Rome refused to surrender. Its leaders adopted new strategies, carefully avoiding direct engagements with Hannibal, slowly wearing down his resources through attrition and guerrilla tactics. Meanwhile, the Romans realized they had to cut Hannibal's supply lines. They attacked Carthaginian-controlled Spain, undermining Hannibal's support base. Under the skilled leadership of Publius Cornelius Scipio, later known as Scipio Africanus, Rome began turning the tide of the war by defeating Carthaginian forces in Spain, weakening Hannibal's ability to maintain his campaign in Italy. By 204 BC, Scipio boldly took the war directly to Africa, threatening Carthage itself. Hannibal was recalled urgently to defend his homeland. In 202 BC, the two legendary generals met at the Battle of Zama near Carthage. The decisive encounter saw Scipio use tactics that countered Hannibal's famous war elephants and cavalry, leading to a decisive Roman victory. Hannibal fled the battlefield, defeated, and Carthage once again surrendered. The peace terms this time were harsher still. Carthage lost all overseas territories, its fleet was destroyed, and it was forced into permanent military subservience to Rome, unable to wage war without Roman approval. Despite Rome's decisive victory, the city's leaders feared that Carthage might someday rise again. Over the following decades, Carthage slowly rebuilt itself economically, gradually regaining prosperity through trade, even though militarily weakened. This economic revival alarmed Roman leaders, particularly the influential senator Cato the Elder, who consistently demanded Carthage's destruction, famously ending every speech with the words, "Carthage must be destroyed." Rome finally found the pretext for war in 149 BC. When Carthage entered into conflict with Numidia, a neighboring kingdom and Roman ally, Rome accused Carthage of violating their peace treaty. Declaring war once again, Rome initiated the Third Punic War, determined to ensure Carthage would never threaten them again. The Romans laid siege to Carthage, a brutal conflict lasting 3 harrowing years. Despite heroic resistance by Carthaginian citizens, starvation and constant bombardment weakened their defenses. In 146 BC, Roman forces, commanded by Scipio Aemilianus, finally breached Carthage's walls, and the city fell into Roman hands. What followed was merciless destruction. Roman troops massacred much of Carthage's remaining population and enslaved the survivors. Buildings were burned, and Carthage, once a magnificent and proud city, was reduced to ashes. The total destruction of Carthage symbolized Roman dominance in the Mediterranean. Legends arose that Romans scattered salt over Carthage's ruins to ensure nothing would ever grow there again, though historians debate whether this actually happened. Yet, symbolic or not, the message was clear. Rome had ruthlessly eliminated its greatest rival and secured undisputed mastery of the Mediterranean world. The Punic Wars profoundly shaped the course of history. Rome emerged as the undisputed superpower of the ancient world, expanding its influence across Europe, North Africa, and into Asia. Its newfound strength and vast territories would soon lead to the creation of one of the largest empires history has ever known. Meanwhile, Carthage, once a great civilization, disappeared forever, remembered only through its tragic story and Rome's relentless ambition. More broadly, the Punic Wars remind us that empires rise and fall, and even the greatest of powers can vanish, leaving behind nothing but echoes of their former greatness. Thus, the Punic Wars serve as a powerful historical lesson about the relentless nature of power and ambition, and about the devastating cost that often accompanies humanity's endless struggle for dominance.